We very much take a best of sector approach because that is generally the way investors look at these issues. It's usually not highlight the best companies in the world for me. It's usually, well, I'm looking at the oil sector or I'm looking at the financial services sector. Tell me what companies within the sectors are doing a better job than their industry counterparts. And the reality is that if you're looking at an oil and gas company versus a bank, the environmental and social challenges are very different. So we are comparing, apples to apples, oranges to oranges. What do we benchmark against? Well, best practices in the industry. And we would look at if it's a global multinational, wherever they're operating, you would expect them, or we expect them to operate to the highest standards, whether they're in North America, Europe, or in a less developed economy in some other part of the world. We look at international standards and norms, and so whether it's on environmental issues, whether it's on human rights issues, whether it's on issues like landmines or whatever it might be, there are a growing number of international conventions that are out there that set a global standard, again, that is precedent setting for wherever we are in the world. So it's best practices, it's international law, international norms and standards. It's not something that Sustainalytics stands up and says, we think this is the way it should be necessarily. It's that 20 years of experience underpinned by the global knowledge. I think there's some core issues that transcend national boundaries. So human rights is one of those things, and an understanding that generally wherever companies operate, they need to respect human rights. Environment is another issue that is just core to our clients. And our clients, whether in the United States or Canada, across Europe, in Australia or Asia, environmental issues are core. And of course there, the issue of climate change remains a paramount issue. But then there are other social and environmental issues that find themselves either higher or lower on the agenda, depending on where you are. So, for example, nuclear energy is something that, for whatever reason, finds itself at most times higher in a European context, in places like the UK, Germany, for example. But in France, it's not particularly an issue. So there are regional disparities in some of the issues that are out there.